Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live. Luna Boona Poona just came in. Hey, Poonie. Uh-oh. Oh, she must have a treat. I was like, what is she chewing on? The kids gave her a treat. Oh, my gosh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new here, get comfortable in comments. We love to hear what you think. We want to hear what you're saying, what you think about everything. I love that everyone's trying to get Michael Riley to do a QVC unboxing. That would be amazing. We would totally watch it. Wait, you got some pizzas? Now, I'm so fascinated that you buy food from QVC. Like, I guess they've come a long way. Oh my gosh, salmon pizza. Wow. Ew. The spam. Oh my gosh. Unpacking day. Oh my gosh. I love that. Bridget is on the heels or coming off the heels. Bridget, if you want to come on and tell us about the Zach Noe Towers concert, please do hit the StreamYard button. Bridget says, I thought the shows today were great. I was listening while I was driving back from Boston. I saw Zach Noe Towers last night and he was terrific. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I've seen him in concert in Houston. I thought he was, well, is it called in concert? What do you call it when you see a comedian? I'm going to see Matt Matthews tomorrow night. I'm like, what do you, I guess you just say I'm going to see them live, right? You don't say concert for, what do you call it? A show? What do you say for a comedian? I don't even know. Oh, it's separate. Oh, you got salmon from QVC, Michael, and you got pizza from QVC. Okay, not salmon pizza. Although salmon pizza doesn't sound terrible though, right? Like, hey, Demetria, I met her. Oh my gosh, I love that. How are you? Yvonne Gale says, Bridget, I'm so glad you loved him. I think he's so freaking cute. Oh my gosh. I will tell you, she shared the picture they took together, and it looks like they are besties. I mean, Zach Noe Towers really has a way of he just beams happiness. Oh my gosh. He just makes everyone feel like he's their best friend. He's really so cute, so cute. Oh, hasn't listened to, okay, Briss says, didn't have a chance to listen to Jeff, so I'm here for it all, Sarah. Well, y'all help me out because I didn't take a ton of notes. We will get into it, but Sarah Foster, oh, Luna's scratching the carpet. Hi, Poonie. Hi, Poonie. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Come say hi. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. She's my doggy. Yes. Raquel says, happy to hear that Jeff mentions we might get our video back in the app. And yes, I mean, yeah, even Annie was like, hello, you already have a video person, me, like, oh, Bridget says this was the first show that I really enjoyed, Sarah Foster. So we will talk about that for sure, but let's get into kind of some big news for a chump. Fortune Feimster and her wife, Jax, have split up. TMZ broke the news last night. So I was actually at dinner with two chumpettes. Shout out, y'all. And I think somebody had posted it in the Facebook group, the Sarah from Texas Facebook group. And I think that's what came up on one of their phones. And they were like, oh my gosh, Fortune Feimster and her wife are getting a divorce. And I'm like, what? And I glanced at it and I'm like, that's not true. And she's like, it's from TMZ. And I'm like, oh gosh. So I immediately go to my TMZ and I see it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I guess it is true. Cause y'all know I trust my TMZ, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Her real name, I guess, is Jacqueline Smith. She calls her Jax. I always thought her name was like JAX, like Jax Taylor, but I don't know. That's just my Bravo brain picking him. But I have to say, a lot of you are saying that you saw this coming. I did not, but I don't see a lot of, I've seen her in concert or live, whatever you want to say. I guess some of y'all said that she was recently on someone's podcast, the Tyler Henry guy, and that Jax wasn't with her, and that alarmed y'all. I'm trying to remember because y'all, she was just on Jeff Lewis Live within the last 2 to 3 weeks. I feel like I have a hair tickling my lip. And, now I can't remember if he even asked about Jax. I mean, I know he always teases like, "Oh, Jax doesn't like me. She didn't like me on Hollywood House Lift and, for Jeff." But I did look. Now, Fortune Feimster only follows like 600 people, not very many in the world of Instagram anyways. I don't see anywhere that she's following anyone named Jacqueline Smith. So I don't know what Jax's Instagram was. Don't even know if Jax is someone that was on Instagram or not. I feel like she was the more private one. Like she was a, kindergarten teacher. She would come on tour with her sometimes and bring the dog. But for the most part, I think she's probably not a kindergarten teacher anymore, although I don't know that for sure. And, I feel like she didn't want to go on tour as much. She's probably maybe more of a homebody is what I'm gathering. I don't really know. Scrolling through all the other TMZ stuff now. The Golden Bachelor dude has a new lady. So Jerry Turner. Didn't he lie about some stuff? What came out about him? I felt like some stuff came out about him. Oh my gosh. What else? Who is Sky Jackson? Whoever that is, her baby daddy is back behind bars, TMZ says. So, whoever that is. I did read the thing that Justin Bieber posted about like the Bible, reading the Bible, attending church isn't going to save you. It was this big long thing about like I've done things wrong in my life and I know that I have to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Just reading the Bible won't help you. It was a very long thing. It didn't really answer any questions. If anything, it gives us more questions, right? Anyways, Kanye West stocking up on goodies at the sex shop in Spain. Gross. The Karen Reed retrial says witness fesses up to bogus grand jury claim. I don't know what that means. I cannot wait to see. How long will this trial last? Like it's a retrial. Does that mean it's going to be even longer? Because both sides are going to be trying even harder to give up, to give more information. I don't know. Just reading all the, oh, God, I haven't seen Blast from the Past. Roseanne Barr reacts to the Connors finale. Not what you'd expect. Oh, Shannon Sharp, the guy from ESPN, the sports guy, stepping away after the rape allegation, the rape lawsuit, where some audio has come out saying, where he's talking about doing stuff. I don't watch You. Is it really good? I keep hearing about it. Oh, 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, Bridget says they're saying the trial of Karen Reed will be 6 to 8 weeks. I was wondering, she must be paying for her attorneys, right? These aren't like government. What do you call it when you get like, the judge or the court or the city, the county, whatever gives you a court appointed attorney. That's what it's called. I don't think they are. I think they're, attorneys that she's being paid, that she's paying them or her family, whatever. Are they only doing her case? Like, how can you be making money from other people and be involved in such a big case like the Karen Reed case? We know it's the same attorneys from her original mistrial, and now it's the same people. They had that documentary that came out, and now it's the same people. It's like 2 or 3 of them, I think. They're working pro bono. I mean, why do they do that? Does that just get their name out there more? Is it for recognition? Pro bono, does that mean 100% free, or can it mean a little bit of a donation? Or are they still raising money on like, all these different websites for her? Remember, wasn't that guy, that YouTube guy, the turtle boy, wasn't he doing fundraisers for her thing? Crazy. Wait, what? Michael Riley says, why wouldn't any of them knock on the door of the house when they came back in the morning? I don't understand that. Oh, the case? I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about You, the TV show? I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying. That's what they said on the Massachusetts news. Wow. As much as I want to watch it, I don't understand a lot of it. You know what I mean? How are they able to retry her? Well, because it was a mistrial. You can't retry if they come to a conclusion. Am I saying this right? I'm not an attorney. I would never get into law school. Oh my gosh. Southern Belle Cell says, I felt she was innocent also. Those coworkers destroying their phones told me everything. Well, yeah, they were police officers and FBI and stuff, weren't they? Like, they weren't just like police coworkers. They were literal police. Like, what would even make, I mean, the whole case is crazy. And again, just a reminder, we all know it's a very riveting case. If it was 1,000% one way or another, none of us would probably care. But it's a case where, like, there's this evidence, and then there's evidence on this side, and then it's crazy. Oh, Lincoln the Golden says that Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop had an excellent guest today that broke down this case. So, Mike O'Reilly says, why didn't she call him from the car saying, how come you didn't come back out? Why didn't she call him during the night when she knew he wasn't there? I thought she called him like 50 times. There's evidence that she was calling and leaving voicemails and going, you don't love me. Why are you still in there? So yeah, there was lots of evidence of her calling. It's such a crazy case, Okay. Christina says you can retry if the case was dismissed without prejudice or a mistrial. And this one was deemed a mistrial, meaning not enough of the jurors could say that, she was guilty or that she was innocent, whatever. It's so crazy. I'm fascinated by it. Like I said, I want to watch it every day. It's just 6 to 8 weeks. Geez Louise. Oh, that's good to know. Christina says, I enjoyed Megan's first podcast. Remind us what it's called. Addiction or something. It's something about addiction with Megan and her sister. Cecile says, I don't trust the expert from either side. It's all about money for them and they'll say whatever you want. That's the thing with these paid experts. I get that people need to be paid for their time, but people that are experts that go on trial are often paid a lot of money. And I'm like, like at what point are they just like a paid salesperson for the defense or for the prosecutor? You know what I mean? Oh, Bonnie, we just started talking about it. Bonnie says, did anyone listen to Megan's podcast or did you guys already talk about that? No, but Christina said it's called My Addiction and it's really good. She enjoyed it. I'm still fascinated by them. Southern Belle says, I enjoyed the Murdoch murders trial. It was fascinating. Yeah, I did watch some of that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let me know if you saw it coming or not. Fortune and her wife, Jax. Shocking. I mean, all I can think is maybe Jax didn't want her traveling so much. Maybe Fortune is choosing her career. Maybe Jax wants to have children. Maybe they just weren't getting along. I mean, it is just because it's two women that seem to be very happy doesn't mean we know what's going on behind the curtains, right? All we know is they have this now somewhat, newer house that they bought together. And now they got to, well, I don't know if they have to sell it. I guess one could buy it out. So anyways, oh wait, Bonnie says Megan kind of cleared up some stuff. What? If you want to come on and tell us, let me know. Ooh, Yvonne Gal says, oh really, Bonnie, you want to spill? She took her responsibility, Christina says. Okay. I would love to know more because I probably won't listen. Still haven't even watched Humble Brag on YouTube, and I want to watch that. But in the Heather McDonald feud, she took responsibility. She says, the friends I was with last night they listen to Jeff Lewis and all that, so they know about all this stuff. And we were chatting about the Heather McDonald of it all, not the Heather McDonald of it all, the Megan and the feuds and all of that kind of stuff last night. And once we saw the news about Fortune, if we saw it coming or not. So I definitely didn't see it coming. But like I said, I don't really hear of her say much about it. Yes, Heather and Megan are friends now. Yeah, as far as I know, right? They haven't posted lately, but I think they are still friends. Okay, John and Andy on Andy Cohen Live this morning. We know they dated a long time ago. Well, they'll kind of touch on things about like when they broke up, all this stuff. Today, somebody called in, or not called in, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's usually the mailbag that they do. So it's audio, it's emails that people have sent in because, they record it in advance. So somebody basically said, look, you and Andy were talking about your breakup a few days ago, but you didn't really talk about when that was or why y'all took a break afterwards. So they started talking about it. But what was really sweet was Andy was talking about, that he interviewed recently Shayna Bedore and with the Love Hotel that starts this Sunday. And she was like, I don't really think I've ever been in love, which is obviously sad because she was married for a long time to David Bedore and they have 3 children together, right? Then she was with, what's his face? John Jansen that, she claimed she was in love with, that he was her soulmate. He was her thing. It made Andy say, you know what? Hearing her say that made me realize that I know I had real love with you, John, because I was so torn up after we broke up. And John was like, yeah, so was I. Like there was a ping in my heart. And he said they were both so upset about it. And I was like, then just get back together. Like I love them together so much. No, it's never going to happen. John used to not, maybe it's because I don't follow him. I don't know. I think there's different things you can do on Instagram where you can set up your settings certain ways where only people that follow you can tag you or nobody can tag you, whatever. For the longest time, he never I couldn't tag him at least. I wasn't blocked. I could see his stuff. But if I wanted to share something about him and talk about him, you couldn't do like at John Arthur Hill. It would say you couldn't do it. Well, now you can, because the other day when he was promoting his Show Pony podcast, he was joking about like he used ChatGPT to teach him how to use the software and how to produce it and all this stuff. So I posted about his podcast and tagged him and I joked about, he used, AI to teach him how to produce this podcast. Well, didn't think anything of it, right? And somebody either commented on the YouTube or sent me a DM. Somebody somewhere commented, somewhere I saw something that said that John vaguely mentioned me on his the John Hill show on Tuesday. And I'm like, about what? I'm like, John, I don't have any kind of friendship. I've never met him in person, nothing. And for the longest time, I couldn't text or tag him. So of course I didn't really DM with him. When you tag someone, they instantly get a notification. So sometimes a celebrity or a Bravo celebrity will be like, oh, thanks for the mention, or, thank you, or they'll repost it, whatever. But John, I could never, whatever, because he didn't let me tag him. So I listened to his podcast. I was picking up my groceries last night after my dinner with the Chumpettes. And he basically says, oh, and this, I don't know what he said, this person reposted to promote my podcast, which was really nice of her. I don't think he said my name. He just said it was really nice of her. And he said, but then there was kind of this jab at the bottom of it, basically saying that I used ChatGPT to teach me how to produce the show. And he's like, it kind of stung a little bit because, I've been producing and doing all this stuff all my, for so long. And, I didn't use ChatGPT for that. And I was like, oh my God. So then, of course, I sent him a message and I was like, oh, no. Let me see if he's even read it. I don't even think he's read it. It doesn't say read or anything. And I said, OMG. I said, one of your followers told me that you referred to me in the ChatGPT wasn't meant to be a jab at you at all. It was a quirky reference to your comment on Andy Cohen Live. And then did a little winky thing. Anyway, so he hasn't liked it or anything, but I was like, no, I didn't mean to upset you, dude. Like it was like a quirky thing. Anyways, I know, but I want them to get back together. I know the kids are a deal. Like John's like, so this weekend is so soon Lucy turns 3 years old and he's having Andy's hosting like a very small birthday party for her with a mini cake, a Minnie Mouse cake, and just, whatever. And a few little kids. And he even asked John, hey, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, like I'm busy. Like, I don't even want to go. I can't deal with a kid's birthday party. AUS Fly Girl says, John doesn't like children. He's not really warm, fuzzy guy. He resents and disdains Andy at times, in my opinion. But I think that has totally gone away now that he's in New York. I think John was so ready to move back to New York City, just have a different vibe. Thank you, Heather. Remind everybody, hit the thumbs up. Darlings, like Countess Lehman would say. And now that he spent almost all of February in New York City, now that he's back now for a few weeks, they are so different. I mean, like the jabs, the whatever, it's just so different when they're in the studio. Also, I feel like John, feels more seen, which he is because he's physically in the studio. So when they're interviewing people like Cheech and Chong, like they did yesterday, John is more involved. He's more in the, they can see him instead of like some Zoom, you know what I mean? Oh, he does. Michael Riley, everybody DMs with you. Michael Riley says, John sends me some funny stuff. See, Michael Riley, he's got an in with everybody. He should absolutely do a fan account. Yes, AUS Fly Girl says little Lucy is going to be 3 years old. Isn't that crazy? 3 years old. Heather says, it seems to me that Andy and Anderson have so much more in common to be a couple. And I think they've never even dated. Like, never, ever had any. Are they the friends that were set up on a blind date and they realized instantly they weren't going to work? Which is interesting. They are very different. But I do think it's them, Andy and Anderson. I think they were set up on a blind date for some reason. Anyways, yeah, I definitely think there's no hope with them either. What else? It does seem like Andy's apartment has sold. He didn't exactly confirm it, but John brought it up and John was like, I heard your apartment sold. And Andy was like, where did you hear that? I mean, I'm like, I want the video. He's like, where did you hear that? He goes, did I tell you that? I'm like, okay, why would you tell him that if your apartment isn't in whatever? So we know that Andy is in the midst of selling an apartment that he currently lives in while he's waiting for his dream apartment to be built, like completely down to the guts. This apartment has been rebuilt, an apartment on top of a building in New York City, just around the corner from where he lives. We know that a while back he let what's the guy, $1 million listing, Ryan Serhant, list the apartment at like $14 million or something. So he's been telling us about that journey. He's talked about the struggles with construction, which I think if anyone's ever done a remodel or whatever, you understand, they'll tell you this date, then they're pushing it back. Then all of a sudden, there's nobody working and you got to get on their ass. Anyways, thank you over on TikTok for liking the live so much. Somebody all of a sudden is really tapping the screen and I really appreciate it. Thank you, Amy, for the badge. I appreciate it. I really appreciate y'all tapping the screen to give us likes. It's really nice of y'all. And obviously on YouTube, hitting the thumbs up. Thank you, Kelly, for the $10 YouTube sticker. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Y'all are being so extra sweet today. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so it does sound like he didn't deny it. He also didn't confirm it, but he basically says something like, I am going through so much stress right now with trying to get, realtor stress. So that made it seem to me like he's probably in negotiations with selling his apartment. And then he's probably also dealing with trying to get his apartment that's being fixed, ready. Because at one point it was like early May. Now it's the end of May. It's almost the same time frame as Jeff's, right? But I feel like Jeff's is going to be even longer. Oh my gosh. Robin says, John claims that's an act, the not getting along, or his antagonistic attitude with Andy. He responded that to me. I guess that might be a Real Housewives secret sauce. I don't think it's a bad thing for them to have a little bit of spice, but I don't think it's a shtick. I think he really does get pissy at Andy, for like coughing into the microphone, reading his text messages when he should be paying attention. I feel like also when Andy, first of all, it's called the Andy Cohen Show. John is literally there every single day. Like, why isn't it the John and Andy show? Like, seriously, there's no co-host. Anyways, they started together as far as I know. But I feel like, he's never involved in like the interviews when they do those. It's not like Andy lets him ask a question. Y'all think it's a shtick, but he goes extra. I don't know. That is true. I gotta give him credit. I mean, he even said something about he's got so many jobs. AUS Fly Girl says, "Andy does have many things happening at the same time. He has help, but still." Yeah, but I mean, he walks his kids to school every day, he seems to spend a lot of time with them, but yeah, he's got help, which is good because he's very busy. Ooh, Heather says John Hill seems very severe. I don't see him tolerant of misbehaved toddlers or diva daddies. Yeah, and you know, I bet Andy's a very different person as a dad. Like, there's a part of you that's like, your dad, you know what I mean? Like, as much as they could go out to dinner by themselves or go on vacations by themselves, yeah, I just don't feel like John wants anything to do with, you know, daddyhood. And they've even said, that was a couple of weeks ago or maybe a month or two, just they were grossed out at the idea of like hooking up with each other. Somebody emailed or called in and said that, and they were both like, ugh, like never. And I'm like, wow, y'all really have a lot of like disgust for each other. Well, I mean, let's be clear. As great as a guy as I think he is, I think John Hill's pretty self-involved too. Bonnie says, I think John sees how self-involved Andy is. He didn't even remember John was really into weed for a while. That was weird. I heard that too. But then they admitted that maybe Andy got John into weed. And so maybe it was after their breakup. But yeah, John was like, oh, I was really into weed. Wait a minute. Welcome, Tea with Tambo. She says, I'm late in number 64. There's 207 people logged in right now on YouTube. Please go hit the tap the thumbs up screen. I'd really appreciate it. I mean, are they though? I mean, AUS Fly Girl says John and Andy are in different phases and stages in life. I mean, I only think of that because of the parenting thing, which is huge. Don't get me wrong. You can't be a single father of two toddlers and it not absolutely rock your world. So I definitely think John and Andy are two different lives. You know what I mean? Thank you, Kimberly J's like YouTube live crew. YouTube live crew. Hit that thumbs up. I love that. Thank you. Okay. In good news, Teddy Mellencamp has said that this came out yesterday. All of her tumors have shrunk or disappeared. Now, that is amazing news. Very quick. Like, very quick. So I know she's doing like this immunotherapy. I mean, the news that she even had brain cancer was very new. Then she updated that she had these another CAT scan or some other scan done, and they had seen even more. They had seen that it spread to her lungs. So it's very quick news. So I was very surprised by that because my experience with my friends and family that have had cancers, you don't even check with a PET scan or whatever scan they're using that early to see if they're disappeared or shrunk, much less expecting it to work that quickly. So it's amazing, but obviously really good news. I feel like she was being very honest with people. And, I had even seen at one point that she had a 50-50%, she was only given a 50-50 percentage of of surviving this. So it's really, really, really good news. I'm glad she shared it because, I want her to not be put down for like riding her horses. I'm like, y'all, if you have 3 little kids, you're going through a divorce, you're, trying to do your best and work hard. And then for years, you've been dealing with the skin cancer, the melanoma, and then it spreads to your brain and your lungs. I mean, you want to share all the good news that you can, right? Yes, it says, Bridget says she did immunotherapy and radiation. So it just seems very quick. I was shocked, but very quick. So I'm very happy for that. Wait, what? Michael's mom is 95 today? Oh my God, that's amazing. Happy birthday to Mrs. Riley, Michael's mom. Oh, I love that. Yes. In London? Michael Riley says, I think Andy hooked up in London. I think he has a lot of quiet hookups. I think he does too. I think he almost admitted to a quiet hookup during his Disney World trip just recently. I mean, he did have a nanny in tow, right? And he's like, I mean, yes. Heather says all talking about Teddy Mellencamp. All of the surgeries and treatments are hard on her. She couldn't remember her son's correct age on her last interview, but that's nothing for what she's going through. Very strong girl. Yeah. And I mean, yeah. I mean, mommy brain for one thing, but chemo brain or whatever immunotherapy, radiation, just stress, the impending divorce, all the things. Happy birthday to your mama, Michael. 95 is amazing. Yeah. Oh, in Miami. Oh, the daddy break that he had. So the few days that he spent with was that with Bruce? Who did he spend a couple of days with before he started his Disney World vacation? I feel he spent it with a friend. I can't remember who it was. I feel like it was at Disney World too, because he was talking about I think he was on the app and he was alluding to it was Bruce. Okay. I feel like he was alluding to all the married to men that were there with their families that were actually on the app. So I think he's on an app that shows like vicinity, like who's close. It's not Michael's mom. Who were y'all talking about its birthday in? Okay, everyone's wishing you. Nurse's mom is 95. Oh, okay, not your mom. Matter of fact, haven't I talked to you? Isn't your mom passed away? I can't remember now. I know I've chatted with you about that. Anyways, it's not Michael's mom. Okay, so happy birthday to Nurse M's mom. That's not, yes, Grindr. That's the hookup app. Anyways, okay, Vanderpump Villa starts today. All of the episodes are out on Hulu. Are you watching? Do you care? Did you even know that it was coming out? I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even have it in my phone, which I normally have dates in my phone. Michael Beck is the executive producer or showrunner, whatever it's called. So he is clearly super invested in it and wants people to watch, understandably. Sounds like they brought in, Mom Talk this season. It sounds like they brought in Stassi Schroeder, who's now sharing some pictures and videos of her of her Italy trip, because it wasn't Italy, but they probably couldn't post all these videos until it was whatever. I know. Anna Sierra says, Andy is an A-list celebrity. Why haven't the Paps captured him with someone? I mean, he even says recently he was on a date and he went to this, popular Italian restaurant in his neighborhood. And he said people were coming up to him like, hey, Andy. And he's like, I'm on a date, But if you go somewhere popular, you're Andy freaking Cohen in New York City. Like, I wouldn't necessarily, I've been in New York a lot of times, but I still don't know all the names and the boroughs of, Manhattan and all that. But, people that follow him can know what neighborhood he lives in. And he makes it very clear of where he eats and the restaurants near him. So you kind of know. Christina says Andy is kind of discreet. I just think people respect that it's not a relationship. So if it's a hookup, then it's not meant to be public yet. You know what I mean? Uh-oh. Debbie always has opinions. I love your opinions, Debbie. Debbie says, no, ! Talking about Vanderpump Villa. I don't care and I won't watch. That show last season was a waste of my time and I only watched 2 episodes, never again. I don't disagree with you, Debbie. As often we have the same opinions. I tried to get through season 1 of Vanderpump Villa and just couldn't. It seemed very produced to me, very fake. It seemed like they hired everybody that's like, ooh, me, pick me. I want to be a reality TV star, instead of anyone that was just really somebody hired to do that job. No, they all seem like it just seemed, ugh. Ooh, I love it. Dee says, Andy is slick when he's catting around. Love that. As he should be, right? Probably adds to the sexual tension. You know what I mean? Exactly. What is it called? Oh, he always says the name of it, if you told me it. Bridget says, everyone knows where Andy goes for cheeseburgers, LOL, with his son, right? Anyways, even the bartender knows his kid's name and all that. Like, he knows the bartenders. It was. I'm hoping season Corner Bistro. Thank you, Bridget. Corner Bistro is the name of it. Really? Wait, why? Southern Belle says I'm not watching Lisa Vanderpump stuff ever again. So you won't watch the reboot of Vanderpump Rules? Hmm. Wow. And why? Is it because of Lisa Vanderpump? Do you feel like she's more of a puppet master than she ever let on? Michael Riley says no Vanderpump Villas for me either. Oh, y'all are, I want to hear more about this. D, you have to tell me more when we meet up soon. D says not a Lisa Vanderpump fan anymore. She backs the bad boys and is not very nice to the females. I'm done. I don't disagree. Now that you kind of see it, I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, y'all were missing Southern Belle cells. I love when y'all miss each other. Yep. Lincoln the Golden says Lisa Vanderpump apologized for DJ James Kennedy's behavior over and over and over again. Oh no, wait. Of season 2? Wait, I always trust your opinion, Christina. I lasted 7 minutes watching the new Villa show. Oh my God. So season 2 isn't good either? Is Stassi on the first episode? If they're smart, they brought her on. Really? Wait, tell me more. I want to know about her and Ken. Southern Belle Cells says Lisa Vanderpump is nasty. I've read too much awful stuff about her and Ken. But don't believe everything you read, right? If it's on Reddit, you know what I mean? Oh, it's heavily. Oh, couldn't get past the introduction, Christina says. Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. I saw that too. Which makes me like, on the daily, what is DJ James Kennedy doing? Like, is he still a DJ? Like, is he still getting gigs? Like, or I know he just came to Houston like a week or two ago. And I was like, well, I'm not going to that. Like nobody's asked me to go. Like, no. I mean, his techno music isn't my thing anyways. I'm sure he'd play the Vanderpump theme song and everybody be like, well, this is awkward because you know. Kimberly J says Lisa Vanderpump just put out that stupid statement that now she's taking a hard stance about James after the backlash. Yeah, I don't disagree. Oh, I love that. Robin says Lisa used to do everything herself. I used to see her at the design store selecting everything, including furniture. She's hardworking. I always felt that she was hardworking. I really did. Yes. Southern Belle. There's too much over and over bad stuff about Lisa Vanderpump out there to report, but where there's that much smoke, there's fire. Okay. Yeah, when she'd had her nose done. That's right. Bravo and Stone says Lisa Vanderpump did Rachel Raquel dirty. She knew damn well that James bopped her in the nose. Yeah, because she even admitted, how did she word that? Remind me, Bravo and Stone. She said something like bumped him or something, right? But I think they were having an argument or something. She finally admitted. It was weird the way she admitted it from it. Oh, Heather says James Kennedy and Jax Taylor are cut from the same cloth. Not disagreeing. Kimberly J, the vocal fry is killing me. What does vocal fry mean? Does that mean when you have like a deep voice, like a Countess Luann? What does the vocal fry mean? I've heard of that lately, but I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. Yeah. AUS Fly Girl says James has a trail of abusive behavior and addiction issues, sadly. Yeah, I think so. Oh, Josh Dumas. Vocal fry is Shane's voice. What does that mean? When you're talking like this, allegedly maybe says. Like a valley girl, valley boy, I guess. Raquel says, is Ty living with Jeff? Well, at least since last night he is. Because he got in town and you should have known. So whoever, God bless you, whoever these chumps are that showed up at DeBarbara last night, I don't know, and I'm dying to know. So DM me if you will. I am dying to know who you are, and if you had a reservation at DeBarbara, before you knew that Jeff and Doug and all of them were going to dinner there. Because just the other day, they said that they were going to be at DeBarbara last night, and they even said like 6 o'clock or whatever the time was. Well, we know from them talking about this Italian restaurant, there's only like 4 to 6 tables. It's a very small restaurant, right? This live work space. But these chumps, I think it was Doug. How did someone put that in the Facebook group? How did I see that? I feel like somebody posted a picture or reposted somewhere. Did Doug repost? I mean, did Jeff repost? Doug didn't repost it because he has no stories up. I'd be shocked if Jeff reposted. Like, he never reposted anything. No, he didn't. Where did I see this picture? Anyways, it's 2 women, I think, and they've got Chump t-shirts on. So they definitely planned to go there and wear these shirts. I mean, I'm positive that they had heard that Jeff and Doug and Alyssa Donovan and I guess Ty was going to be there. And then they got this big group picture with them. So God bless it. But, Jeff has to know when he tells on the radio where he's going to be and what time, chumps are going to show up if they can. You know what I mean? So vocal fry. But why do they call it vocal fry? LTD says that's how Annie and Shane's voices are. So weird. Yeah, where was that picture? Does anyone remember? Did somebody send it to me? I was trying to how Annie talks. Which Annie's from Dallas. She doesn't have really a Dallas, or I don't hear a Dallas accent from her. But yeah, she talks kind of slow. Yeah, typical Valley Girl accent. Think of the Kardashians. Do the Kardashians have a vocal fry? So weird, vocal fry. Was it Doug that did it expire maybe? But if they went to dinner last night, the video wouldn't have the pictures wouldn't have expired because there's no current story. Oh, I take that back. Oh, it's because I'd already looked at them. Okay, here's the picture. Sorry. H to the wood. H to the wood, I guess, posted. So she's probably one of the chumps. So it's Doug and then a chump and then Jeff and then Shane and then a chump and then Alyssa Donovan. Loved meeting you last night. Super cute. I mean, show up. They got dinner. They got a picture. They had like a mini Chump Con right there, right? If they were smart, they were like listening to the conversations. Like, what are y'all talking about? Anyway, super cute. Yes, put your names. I would love for your names to be in your YouTube because Southern Belle Sells gets long to say. She says, I'm going to have to put my name on my handle so y'all don't have to type out so much. Exactly. Yes, LTD. I already put it in the Facebook group. LTD said, did anyone go to fansocial.co to see the new offering of Jeff Lewis? Yes. Thank you, Debbie. She's number 89, but there's 218 watching, 225 when she was watching, when she was doing it. So hit that thumbs up button, please. So we'll chat about it. So what it is on Fan Social that they've added, which Jeff said, go book it before, his boss finds out. I'm like, they had to run this through SiriusXM. So basically for $5,000, you and one other person, it's limited to 2 people. And it's 1 hour. Let me see if I still have it up. Yes, on Fan Social. Let me go. Okay. So Fan Social and then Jeff Lewis, you can go down and you can book Jeff Lewis Live Studio VIP for $5,000. So peek behind the curtain of Jeff Lewis Live and enjoy being in the studio with Jeff, Shane, and guests for an hour of live taping. 2 people max, LA only. Drinks is 1 hour for $5,000. Dinner is still $10,000. He says 2 hours. He always goes over 2 hours. I think ours was 3.5 hours. So he definitely goes over if he likes you. Can you imagine being with Jeff and him be like, oh, it's 2 hours? I'd be like, oh my God. So I don't get on Fan Social much. But this is what it's the website. I guess there's an app, Browse Socials. It's basically like what's the app? Cameo, but it's more to like do dinner or do drinks or do an event. So it got me looking because I hadn't really stared at it much. I wanted to see what people charge. So some people charge more for dinner than Shane and Doug. A lot of people do. And I'm like, I think they just want to make it more affordable for like real fans and they want to book more. Just like Shane's Cameo is always pretty reasonable, right? So Jeff Lewis is on there, Luann de Lesseps, Byron Scott, who's like a NBA guy. Don't know why he's on there. Sheree Whitfield, Reza Crystal, Tracy Tudor, Cynthia, Jamie Kennedy, Margaret Josephs, John Hill, Darius McCrary, which like some of these people, I think just a friend told them, what have you. It skipped out of it. Jameson Scala is on there. Judge Lauren Lake, Tom Arnold, Jade Catapretta. Jade and Zach Noe Towers are friends. So they've got a deal. I think it's $2,000 where you can go to with them both at Taco Bell and eat dinner, which I thought was kind of cute. But look who's on here. Dr. Donna Dannenfelser. Felser, whatever her name is. Dr. Donna. She is on there. And I'm like, ooh, like that didn't age well. Michael Beck, Poland Patrick, Shane Douglas, Patty Stanger, Kelly Dodd, Rick Carney, Doug, MJ, Joey, Kirby Blanton, Ryan, Monica, Pej, and Zach Noe Towers. So that's all the ones on there. Anyways, $5,000 to come to the studio for an hour. And the coffee readings are on Poland Patrick. So I don't know if that's how you go. Like, I don't know. Like, if you go get one on Fan Social, I guess they get a percentage of it. But if you do it on polo2.com, maybe they don't get a percentage of it. That's a little bit tricky with them, right? You know what I mean? A little bit tricky. Michael Riley, they'd have to pay me for dinner. Goodness. LTD said if I had $5,000 to spare, I would do the in-studio experience. I mean, yeah, you'd get the commercial breaks, but it's only 1 hour. Like, I think it should be 2 hours. Robin says it seems like Jeff is hustling for money. The design work is slow. Anyone feeling that way? Where else can you go and get $10,000 profit for a 2-hour dinner? I mean, they're even buying the dinner. So I think Jeff is like, look, if people want to do this, okay, let's do. And Jeff, let's get it straight. Jeff loves meeting his fans. He really does. I think he loves radio. Like, I feel like Jeff loves radio more than he loves TV. I feel like he needs to be on TV because that just feeds everything. That lets people talk about, hey, there's a radio show. That lets people talk about, hey, you can hire me for design work. You know what I mean? Like, I think that all feeds it, but I think he's always hustling, which I don't think is a bad thing, right? It's like me asking y'all to hit the thumbs up button. It's hustling. I'm like, hey, it's a free way to support my channel, right? Tapping the screen over on TikTok. It's a free way to support me. There's almost 19,000 likes over on TikTok. Thank you so much. Margarita says that no, it's just another source of income. Yeah, which I don't think, Jeff's ever going to turn down, right? This thing this weekend, I am curious. It does seem like Ty is coming. Now, I'm sure he's going to stay in his room, so there's no real extra cost there. I'm wondering how Jeff handles that. Like, is he paying for his own food and drinks? Is it separate? Was he included? I don't know who Molly Sims' real friends are or who she would hired without, but I know she was one of the sponsors of Chump Con. Okay. She also was one of the chumps. So I don't know if she got to be paid $10,000. I'm assuming so. And she was a sponsor. And now Jeff is going on this influencer, this digital entrepreneur trip. So I don't really know how that works, but I don't feel like Jeff would do this for free. You know what I mean? So, but I'm like, how much money must Molly Sims have to have? I mean, is Joey going? Shane is going. The Bitch Bible, Jackie Schimmel is going. I mean, there's several people going that seem like they're kind of Jeff's friends. You know what I mean? Smilene says, Sarah, you did a fantastic fan social with Jeff. Where can I find your review? Fan social or job social? What does that mean? I did lots of reviews or talks about the $10,000 dinner. But it wasn't through there was no fan social back then, but two other people had booked it and they just invited me as their guest. So there's no real review to be done for that, right? Anyways, Jeff is amazing as far as like very charismatic, makes you definitely feel like he's interested in you. He is absolutely asking questions of Melanie and Scott, who were the people paying for the $10,000 dinner, as he should have been asking them questions. It was amazing. He really is very conversational. Who is Amy? Southern Belle says, who is this crazy Amy paying for all of this? Who is Amy? I don't know. Nut Fam says the recession is here. I don't know who Amy is. Is she one of the people that did the $10,000 dinner? There's definitely somebody that did the dinner or drinks, whatever it was, after Chump Con. So they went, and he said they had done a $10,000 dinner before, or maybe the $10,000 dinner he had, they had done a $10,000 dinner before. I'm not sure. Oh, Shanda says this crazy Amy bought Jameson a hotel package too for his birthday. No idea. Amy is the rich chump. I have no idea. I don't know who she is. I don't know. Okay, let's chat Jeff Lewis live. The first hour was Sarah Foster and Michael Beck. Sarah, again. So the first time Sarah Foster was on my podcast, I said that a lot of people, it was a very boring show. I didn't say she was boring. I just said, it's kind of a boring show, not much happened, whatever. Well, somehow she heard that or whatever. Somebody sent it to her, whatever happened. Maybe at the time, I think I had Annie. So maybe Annie made a clip of it. I'm not even sure. I don't remember. But she came on the next time she was on, and it was in the commercial breaks when they had video. And Sarah is on going, who's this fan of yours? She like came after me and said that I was boring. And I was just like, oh my God. First of all, I said the show was boring. Never mentioned you, honey. But you are. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, every single time she's on, she talks about the negative comments she gets. And your chumps say this, and the comments say this, and they say I'm boring. And I'm just like, okay, stop bitching and moaning about it. It's crazy. Is he on? I think he did twice. Isn't she back? PJ says Andy Cohen has been hosting the Kelly Clarkson show in her absence. I thought she missed for a few reasons a few weeks ago, but I think she's back. And I think he only did it twice. On Humble Brag, they talked about it. Okay, Louise says they talked about Rich Amy during Humble Brag. Okay. I do need to watch that, or at least, so my friends that I was at dinner with last night, they said you don't have to watch the whole hour 44 of the Humble Brag. It's really the first 30 to 45 minutes. And other people had been telling me they kind of talk over each other a lot, like between Reza and Joey. So Rebecca says he ought to be social for these Capitol Hunger Games style $10,000 dinners. He's very social. Like he really is very chatty and interested in their conversations and all that. So he really is. I think it's, who is Sarah Foster? I hate her. Gosh, Heather. Dee says, yes, I find her boring. Who's stepson Brandon? I think it's Reba's stepson. When y'all say Reba, I only think of Sutton's mom. Anyways, she did say that her life is kind of hard. She was kind of not really saying that she's depressed, but basically, money doesn't solve all your problems. She is going through a separation or divorce with her husband, Tommy, but she says things are so good right now. She doesn't mind if he ever lives with her. What are we going to talk about Reba McEntire for? Wait, what? Southern Belle says, I can't stand Reba. I know too much about her. Yes, Tiva Tambo says Sarah Foster is one of the daughters of David Foster, who he's a huge guy, like musical genius, whatever. Not so great in the marriage department based on all of his divorces, but he is the guy that I got to know when he was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Yolanda Foster. David Foster, Yolanda Foster. They've since divorced. Yes. Robin says, is she the one on Hollywood House Lift that had the closet remodel on Jeff's show? Sarah Foster. Yes. And she had a bunch of jeans, like she was hoarding a lot of clothes and, it was kind of, I don't know, just I felt like she was trying to be entertaining, but I felt like she was a little snotty to Jeff. She has a snotty vibe, if you ask me. So if anyone sends her this video clip, she's really gonna be like, oh my God, that girl really talks about me a lot. Look, it's a podcast. We give our opinions. You know what I mean? Ileana says, Sarah Foster makes everything about herself. Very self-centered with a famous dad. Libby says, all those jeans. Yeah, it was a lot of jeans. So they did talk about Chump Con. That Jeff said I'm not sure if Chump Con will be at Resorts World again. And they basically said it's not because of the place. They loved it, blah, blah, blah. They just said they weren't in control of all the expenses. So at the end of the day, one example he gave, he's like, well, look, we did the live event. We needed 8 microphones. They gave us 3. So then it was an $1,800 charge for that. It does sound like it was a little over the top. So it sounds like all those business type things, all the T's should have been, I should have been dotted and the T's crossed, all that kind of stuff. I think it added up to a lot of behind the, oh, that's right. All the behind the scenes expenses that made it maybe not as profitable as it should be. I totally forgot about that. Shanda says, I believe it's Reba's husband's son, Brandon, is Kelly's ex-husband. I know that's a crazy story, but it is. Yeah. Michael says, I'd like to see the books on all those expensive, but the bottom line is he 75? Mylene says, David Foster is 75. His wife is 41, just saying. And don't they have like a 3-year-old son? Yeah. Brandon Blackstock is his name. The guy that was married to Kelly Clarkson that's divorced. Tiva Tamba says, I remember that episode. Jeff wouldn't do the remodel until she got rid of a lot of stuff. Yeah. I like when he teases and says he likes her sister Erin better. Okay, on the second hour was Alyssa and Doug. Again, they talked about DeBarbara. Again, shout out to the 2 chumps that I'm assuming made reservations, which I'm like, I guess it's a Wednesday. You would like to think with that few of tables, as much as they have promoted DeBarbara, just chumps in general, listeners in general that live in the LA area or that are visiting would go to DeBarbara. I'm assuming these chumps made the reservation when they just heard it on the radio this week, which means that that table was open. So I'm kind of surprised about all that. I'm going to have to Google. Sorry, I got the wrong son. Jen Helen says the drinks at Resort World seemed insanely expensive. I don't blame them for wanting to go somewhere else. I mean, I don't know that the drinks are going to be much cheaper. I do think he finally was saying, oh gosh, what was the name of it? I do think he was saying the name of the little bar they went to for the karaoke. And that was tiny, if that's where it was. I think I've been to that. It's one of those secret, what do you call those? The bars that you have like a secret password for that are real popular. It was like kitty something. It was very, I don't know what the theme was. I think we went and yeah, drinks were like $25 a couple of years ago. And we thought that was expensive. Like a tiny drink. Forget the name of the place though, they said, but I think that's the place where it had like a door and you just kind of push on it and you have to know about the bar before you go in. What are those called? Debbie says, what's the story about Todd at Chump Con? How come no one talks about it or do I miss it? That's true. Nobody's really said anything about Todd's intro or, all I saw was a video that someone put out when all the chumps are walking by and like Joey gives a kiss into the thing and Todd gives the finger. And I'm like, ooh, kind of crazy. Well, and that's why that chump did, right? Southern Belle says, good grief, you need to sneak your own liquor in there. Wow. Sarah talked about it. Rebecca. Oh, send to someone else. Yeah. Speakeasy. Thank you. Speakeasy. And if so, that's it was very tiny. We went there for my husband's 50th birthday. We went and got drinks there and we weren't that impressed. I'm not good people watching. I'm assuming, I don't think when Tiffany Chump came on last week and talked to us about Chump Con, I don't think she said anything about, I didn't really ask questions. I don't think she said anything about Todd. I'm sure he's pouting that he didn't have this magic show and this big, I don't know. Tiva Tambo says, FYI, David Foster was an executive producer on Scorpion, which Catherine McPhee was the star. Isn't that his current wife? Is that his current wife? Although they've had public, they've talked about, issues in their marriage. Okay, so somebody called in and asked about the Jeff Lewis Live video. And basically Jeff says, well, because he said, look, do we need to raise money? What do we need to do to get the video back? And Jeff says, well, kind of hold off on that. Like, it might be getting worked out. He said, basically, whatever he calls him, Tim Johnston, whatever his name really is maybe working on it. But Annie's like, look, I already record this. All you need to do is pay me to upload it. She's like, why would you hire another team? Because Jeff talked about having another team. But Doug did admit, which is true, Doug did admit that he kind of likes not having the commercial breaks because they would kind of have to self-edit themselves. He said we were very self-aware of what we said and did during the commercial breaks because we knew it was now on the app. And I'm like, well, yeah, because that's why we're watching. I can't watch Summer House or Winter House. I just can't. Not enough time in the day. But they are filming Summer House reunion today. And Andy said very soon they're going to film the Valley season 2 reunion because Nia and Kristen Doty are due in June. So it's already almost May. So they're going to have to film that very quick. And of course, John Hill was like, well, maybe they'll go into labor on the, they'll have the babies on camera. Anyways. Okay, do you want the Chump Con talk to stop? They pretty much said they were going to quit talking about Chump Con. One thing I have heard from some Chumpettes is that for a lot of us that weren't there, we've already heard everything. So it just makes us kind of be like, great, we weren't there. It's kind of like, somebody comes to the lunch table the next day on Monday and tells you about the party that you weren't at on the weekend. It's like, I don't know. Jeff said she's going to stop talking about it today. I don't mind hearing about it. I think news stories have come out. I don't want to hear about the same thing over and over. I like hearing about the new thing they've talked about. See, Michael Riley says they're beating a dead horse. But like when they talked about the text chain that's still going on, there's some things I don't mind them talking about if it's new information. Or like when Jeff shared today that they were charging him, like we needed 8 microphones. They only gave us 3. They charged me for that. It's like, I think the deal he thought he was getting ends up not being that good of a deal because they end up charging him from all the other stuff. Michael Riley's honest. He's like, all I want to hear is them fighting and asking for more money. You got a point. That is what I want the jailbird to call in exactly, Stephanie says, the person that got arrested for getting in the water at the big hotel, whatever that one's called. About Conover, Craig and Paige. I don't mind them talking about planning next year's, Jen Helen says. Yeah. I think a lot of people that didn't go this year are planning to go next year and saving their money. So I think if he gives a little more time, the Fountain Crasher exactly at the Bellagio, if he gives a little more time and, kind of spaces out the money, I guess even Jamie Kennedy was trying to let him know, hey, these cons that I do, these 90 cons, scary movie cons, whatever, we make it where everything costs a different thing. So I think if they make it doable for a lot of people, it's going to be worth it for them. But I don't know. I can't imagine going and not going to everything because I think I would have more FOMO knowing all this stuff was going on and that I wasn't at it. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I don't mind hearing about it. Anyways. Well, we are going to wrap it up unless you have a question or comment, always put it in there. If you ever want to come on, you can hit the StreamYard link and that brings you right up to ask a question. I will stick around on TikTok for a little bit if you have any questions there, since I don't get to read them there. thank you sincerely. There's over 20,000 likes on the live. So I really do appreciate that, because that gets other people watching, because it pushes it out to more TikTok people that didn't even know that we were doing this live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you missed the whole beginning, it is up on my YouTube channel, the Sarah from Texas podcast. And then it goes, thank you, Robin. She says, my finger hurts. Thank you so much. And it goes anywhere as a podcast at Sarah from Texas if you want to listen to it. I will see y'all tomorrow, same place, same time. Jeff will be in Cabo, so he's always in a better mood. I feel not in a better mood. I just think he's more of a casual mood whenever he's on vacation. It is so fun. I'm so glad we found each other. Chumpettes rule. And AUS Fly Girl says, thank you, Sarah. It's a fun gathering. Somebody said earlier that it's the fastest hour of their day. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Hold on. Lincoln the Golden says, I said this before, but I think you missed it. Holly H to the Wood from Vanderpump Rules Party was at dinner last night next to Jeff. She tells the whole story on today's episode. Oh, she's a podcaster. I just assumed she was a Chump fan that had a H to the Wood, whatever that means. I guess it means Hollywood. Oh, okay. So, anyways, okay. So H number 2, the Wood is her Instagram. So you can probably find her podcast there. Thanks for sharing. Shout out, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much. And make sure you hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Bye, Chumpettes. Sorry, I keep reading.